Hello guys and welcome to another video. My name is Mark, I'm an entrepreneur and property investor. And today what I want to do is I want to answer a question that was left on my YouTube channel by Ben Elsom, who said, what would you recommend for a person who can't find a property for less than 100k and now the interest rates are over 5%? The lowest price he could pay for a property down south is closer to 200k. And what I'm going to do today is just find a few examples of things where I see value. And I'm going to go straight to locations that I know well, that I've invested in, that I know I could find a property for around that 100k mark, where you would need, 25 to 30k to get in. Let's say 30 with fees, because 25 is going to be your deposit. And you're still going to get a return of 10 to 15%, even if we have interest rates. And I had a quick look, 2-year buy-to-let at 6%. So if you like this sort of video, if you'd like to see me actually go through the data, give this video a big like. It really does help me out with the algorithm. And if you've got any comments as we go along, put them down below and I will do my best to answer every single one of them. So guys, let's have a look at what options he would have. And my first thought is to look in Sheffield, because that's an area that I've invested in. I know the cheaper locations around S5, S2, S9. I'm going to be drawn straight away to S5 as one of the cheapest locations. And I want to get rid of everything that's modern auction or auction. And I'm drawn straight away to this first property on Southerly Hill, and that's for 105. I'm confident we could get this 2-bedroom semi-detached under the 100k mark if we were negotiating on it. I'm pretty sure we could bring it below that. Having a look at the pictures, it's in good condition. It doesn't seem to need any work. The kitchen's solid, the bathroom's solid. Look, you're going to take possession of this, give it a quick paint, it's ready to rent out. Now the question we have is, what sort of return are we going to get if we bought that property for 100k? So we know that the mortgage is going to be on 75,000, and we need to just quickly work out what that means for us in terms of a 6% mortgage rate. And looking at that, it would be £375 a month. So pretty affordable. We now need to know what our rental will be. So we need to have a look at a couple of rental examples in the area. I kind of already know what we're going to be looking at. It's going to be £800 a month, but I'm going to do the exercise so that you can see how I'm doing the exercise. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing up all the rental properties in that area. The first one I come across is 695. So that's a bit cheaper than I was expecting, but the pictures, yeah, of course it's 695. It's terrible. It's an awful looking property. Everything looks dated. It's much worse than the one we're looking at. And to top it all, it's being rented out by a company called Crapper and Haig. So that pretty much says everything we need to know about that one. And then we've got this other one at 795. That's far more representative of what we were looking at. Nice property, nice condition, ready to rent out, but there's only 2 available. I think, and I've just rented out a 3-bed in Sheffield where we pushed that ceiling rent. I think the maximum they were looking at 3 beds was 895, and we got 1,050. And that was purely because there was no availability, and we had 12 people come for an open viewing, an open day, and everybody got to give sealed bids at the end of the day. And we basically said it needs to be 4 figures, and we rented it out for 1,050. Which was absolutely fantastic. We pushed that ceiling rent up. So I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't push this ceiling rent for 2-bedroom properties in this area up, bearing in mind it's only £800 a month and there's only 2 available. So with those 2 things in mind, I think you could probably push it up. Now, what does that mean in terms of return? Well, we do some quick maths in our heads. We can write it down if we want, but let's just do it in our heads quickly. Let's say the mortgage is 375. Let's say insurance takes that up to 400, because you're only going to get buildings insurance on it. So £400 a month for buildings and the mortgage. And then let's talk about the cost of management, maybe £100 a month. So that takes it to 500. Now, because it's a single let, we're not going to have any other bills really considered with it. So all we need to know is what our rent will be, 800, £300 a month profit. I would think is fairly achievable. That gives you a return of well above 10% on a single let, which is fantastic. It's always been the case. And that same property, if we went back to when interest rates were lower, would have been rented out for 595. So interest rates have gone up, rents have gone up, margin has stayed about the same, because capitalism takes care of all of it for you. Guys, sorry to interrupt this video, but I wanted to give you this information, and I promise it'll be no more than 15 seconds. If you want to have a free one-to-one consultation with me, a quick chat about anything at all you need to do is click the link in the description. It will give you a quick form, fill out your details, Tom will get in contact and book it into my calendar with me, then we can have a free consultation. I'm doing this for anybody who wants to talk to me until I get to 10,000 subscribers. So guys, let's get back to the video, but fill in the form, have a chat. Let's get back to another example and see if we can find a little bit further south, because maybe Sheffield doesn't float your boat. So I'm going to look in Northamptonshire, because again, Northamptonshire, I know it well. I've invested in Corby, Wellingborough, Kettering. I've got about 2 or 3 properties in each of those locations. So we're looking at Corby first of all. We've got this flat, Pickering Court, 2-bedroom flat, £110,000. I would be confident we could bring it in around the 100k mark. So our mortgage would be about the same. It's in good condition looking at those pictures. Again, not the best condition. Maybe you're gonna slap some paint on it, but it's not in bad condition. And then we've got this other property, maybe in Kettering, 110,000 again. Looks in good condition. You know, I would say that that is rentable as it is. So I would have no hesitation in renting either of those out. We need to know the rents. So about 100k property, guess what? I reckon it'd be between 750, 850, somewhere around those sort of numbers. We've come further down south, so it tends to be that returns start to reduce slightly. And here we go, let's have a look. Yeah, there's plenty around that 750 to 850. I'm in the right ballpark. The figures are going to be not too dissimilar to that Sheffield property. Now, the one thing you do need to bear in mind when you're buying flats and leaseholds is, okay, you're getting rid of the insurance costs, but you are going to pay a service charge. So we would need to have a look at what the service charge on each of those properties would be. My experience in the area says it would be no more than £100 a month, maybe 150, but it's fairly cheap in that location for service charges. Obviously, it's on a building by building basis and you need to do your research. That could eat in at a profit, bring that total amount down maybe to under 10%. But capitalism is taking care of it for you. It's going to be around that sort of number. And again, we've got some great investments. Now, if we look further south, I accept we are likely to run into the following problem. House prices are still relatively high. Rents have started to come up. However, they haven't come up enough to meet that extra mortgage requirement. So whereas if I go back 2 years, that £200,000 flat that you would have bought in Newbury would have had a rental of about 875, but the mortgage payment on it would have been at 3%, maybe 3.5%. Now the mortgage payment's doubled, but the rental hasn't gone up by that much. I know, for example, 2-bedroom flat in Newbury's gone from 875 to about 1,000. So we're talking about a smaller increment of increase down south at the moment. And it's purely under affordability. Ultimately, up north, there's a lot of wiggle room for affordability. $850 a month, most people can pay that. For a family home, especially for a dual earning family home. So I think there's still a lot of growth up north, which is why right now I'm still investing in Sheffield, I'm investing in Northamptonshire. I think those sort of areas where there's good growth of population, good job numbers, good house prices that are well below the average for the nation, rents are still relatively high compared to those house prices, returns are good. I mean, what more do you want? I'm still ultra confident. And when I bake into consideration the fact that house prices, okay, have had a 5% nominal drop, but a 20% real terms drop because of inflation, we are possibly sitting on one of the best times to invest. So guys, I'm going to be continuing to buying. Let me know what your thoughts are. I know Tom, behind the camera right now, he's hoping to buy his first property this year. Where are you thinking, Tom? Are you going Sheffield, Northamptonshire? You following my lead?
Yeah, well, wherever's cheapest at the time.
Wherever's cheapest at the time. I'm sure we'll find you something amazing. As always, give this video a big like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers, guys.